Let's take a look at the roadmap for our Aeolian minor progressions and using the Aeolian mode over 4 sequential key changes. Now we're going to be playing in 4 different keys that will play for 8 bars each. And those keys are going to be C minor, D minor, E minor, and F sharp minor. So we can have C Aeolian, D Aeolian, E Aeolian, and F sharp Aeolian. Now the parent keys to those, you can figure those things out for yourself, but C is going to be the key of E flat, D is going to be the key of F, all right, E is going to be the key of G, and F sharp Aeolian is the key of A major. So the Aeolian mode is the 6th mode of the major scale. And the way I approach modality is I target the tones of the 6th chord using the parent major scale. And of course, all of those things, some of us have learnt these shapes to be the mode, and that's not true, okay? All 7 shapes that you have of the major scale are any of the modes. It's just where you resolve your tones to. Most of you guys know that. Anyway, so what we're going to do is firstly show you the chords that I'm playing to create this Aeolian mode. And of course, that chord progression is just transposed to play in each of those other keys. So none of the voicings have changed, all right? And none of the progression has changed. It's just typically gone into another key, all right? So we've got C minor, D minor, E minor, F sharp minor, using Aeolian, or as some people call it, the natural minor scale, okay? So let's take a look at the chord progression on the fretboard. And it's pretty simple, straight ahead rock stuff. And I'm using my C minor. You could use a C minor 7 or C minor, a full C minor chord. And depending on whether you want it to sound darker or a little lighter, but the darker sound comes from the full C minor chord. So, okay. So what I'm playing there is my C minor. I'm pulling off to a B flat with a C bass, so E flat, 5-2, all right, so it's got a 5 in it and the 9 or the 2nd, to a B flat chord. So here's the progression again. And you can hear it squarely resolves back to that C minor. Now, we've got the root note, or the root key, if you like, our Aeolian here, the C minor, and the other chords are coming from the key of E flat, but our tonality is Aeolian, so C minor. All right, now that progression will then sequentially move through the other 4 keys every 8 measures. All right, so there's the chord progression. Now let's take a look at some scale choices and shapes on the fretboard, and I'm going to do that again at 5th position purely because I think it's one of the simplest places to locate these scale shapes, all right? And a lot of us guys are very familiar here. If we move up to this end of the neck, some of us are less familiar there. Open string voicings aren't always the best scale moves, if you like, to see, because you might have open strings. So let's take a look at that. So we know we've got a C minor chord, our C Aeolian, which is going to be the E flat major scale. So I'm going to start with my tonic though here and play through that for you in position. So there's my C tonic, and here's playing through the scale. And there's my C minor. Okay, now we have D Aeolian next, and we're going to play that in position. D Aeolian is the F major scale, but starting and resolving back to tonalities of the D. And we can locate this here on the fretboard, and I'll start with the tonic of D. So here's our Aeolian. There's our D minor. Now the next chord or next sequence of Aeolian is in E minor, so E Aeolian, and that's going to be the 6th mode of the G major scale. Okay, so how do we locate that on the fretboard here? Well, here's my tonic note, and then I'm going to play from there through my scale. So here we go, here's tonic E. Okay, back to my E note. And then our last key is going to be F sharp Aeolian, which is the 6th mode of the A major scale. So we're going to locate that on the fretboard. So my tonic will be here, right, the first note. And of course we'll sequence through the whole thing. So here it is, here's F sharp Aeolian. And there's an F sharp minor 7 chord. So there's our 4 scale choices, if you like, in position. I'm going to be playing through those in a minute as an example of playing Aeolian solos in position on the fretboard. Pull up your PDF diagrams if you want references to any of these scale shapes, okay? And of course we have given you breakout tracks of each key if you really are beginning and learning scale positions of each of these modes, okay? So don't be scared to do that if you need to. Just be honest with yourself at where you are in the program, and if you're at the beginning of it, fantastic. And if you're more adept, you don't need any of those diagrams. All you really need is the concepts and the assignments that I'm going to give you to start working through this. So there you are, there's the roadmap, there's the keys, the chords, and the scale, the Aeolian mode in position. Now let's take a look at that in more detail and hear some playing examples.